Hi, I'm Noel Pulanco. We're going to cover a couple of topics again for our web series with HomeQwik Property Management. We're going to talk about tenant screening and a couple of items regarding maintenance, pets, and so forth. I hope you enjoy, and we look forward to hearing from you. Okay, so when we're looking at screening a new tenant for one of our properties, there's really three things that we want to consider. Their background, which would include their credit history, and the accounts that they pay on, their residential history, where they've been living for the past few years, and of course, number one, their income. We want to make sure that they make 3 times the required rent as a minimum. So once we can decipher that and prove that their income is valid, we can move on to the next steps. Really on the background, I'm looking at the last 2 years. I want to know what accounts they've been paying on and what they haven't. I'm not too concerned about a school loan, maybe a medical bill, even these days a short sale or foreclosure. What I'm more concerned about is, are they paying their cell phone bill, their vehicle, their utilities? That's the kind of stuff that I know they're taking care of day to day and will lead me to believe that they're also going to take care of the rent. The last, of course, is their residential history. Really, again, I want to look at the last 2 years. If they owned a place, I want to know. If they were renting an apartment or a house from somebody else, I'd love to talk with that landlord, or a minimum get them to sign off on the fact that they paid well and took relatively good care of the property. So again, the 3 things we're looking at: background, residential history, and income. The most important one for me, always, do they make enough money to pay me rent? Okay, pets or no pets? That is the question. Really common. Obviously, most landlords would prefer not to have a pet. However, I got to tell you that about 75% of every prospective tenant that's looking for a house or an apartment to rent is going to have at least 1 pet. So what you really want to do is protect yourself and make sure that you discriminate and make a good decision if you're going to allow pets. Here at HomeQwik, we get a non-refundable deposit, so that's guaranteed money that you're going to get per animal. Obviously, we don't allow dangerous breeds, and we want to limit the number, sometimes even the size of the pet that we're allowing. If they've got kids, or if you've got a 3 or 4 bedroom house that's got some pretty good square footage and a yard, can almost guarantee they're going to have a pet, so you got to get yourself over that. Shutting off the pets shuts off a huge portion of the population that's looking for rent a house. And guys, a lot of times pet's part of the family, and that sometimes turns into a good long-term tenant that renews several times. So really take a look at what kind of pet it is, what you're comfortable with. Make sure you and your property manager are on the same page. Okay, so another great reason to have a property manager is to make sure that when a repair comes along, we know who's responsible and who's not. We'll stick to Arizona as far as the legalities here. However, you want to know what you're getting into and what the lease dictates as far as repairs and who's responsible. In Arizona, the landlord is responsible for a couple of items: hot and cold water, hot and cold air, and a general safe condition. So there's a lot of gray in there, and there's a lot of stuff that could be left on the tenant. I always encourage my landlords to take care of the major stuff. Although you may not be warranting the refrigerator that you left there, if it goes out, I would probably say to fix it. If the closet doors are sticky, or the toilet needs a new plunge, maybe that's something that the tenant can fix on their own. Again, we don't want a tenant going above their pay grade per se, so we don't want them trying to fix something that they're not capable of. However, we do want to encourage them to take some ownership and some pride in the house and to take care of the minor stuff on their own. There's nothing worse than have a tenant that nitpicks every little thing and calls you for everything. You take care of the good stuff, most tenants will take good care of the house and only bug you when they think they need to.